Hello and welcome to this Adobe Express lesson all about the Titanic. And today we're going to create a Titanic graphic inspired by 4 lines from a Titanic poem. So to start with, I'm just going to go down to presentation because I want a nice landscape canvas. Now you're going to be using this poem here, The Lost Titanic. So you'll read it and then you're going to choose 4 lines from it and you're going to present this and design an image inspired by those 4 lines of the poem. So I'm going to go for the first 4 lines of the poem here, and I'm going to start just by adding those in by adding some text. So I'm going to go to the left here and press text, and then I'm going to press the big button here that says add your text. And now I'm just going to type in those 4 lines of the poem. So there we go, I've typed my 4 lines of the poem. I might just reduce the size by grabbing one of these circles in the corner of the text box and maybe place it up here. Now I want to now create a graphic using different layers that's inspired by these 4 lines of the poem. So for this I want an image of the Titanic. Now there's not many images of the Titanic in Adobe Express, but we can use a website called Wikimedia Commons. So I've gone over here and I've typed in Titanic, and I found some different historic documents and photos all about the Titanic. And here's a lovely one, this picture here. So I'm just going to click this one. It's a nice big image, and I'm going to copy and paste this image onto my canvas. So to do that, I'm going to right click on the image and I'm going to press copy image, and I'm going to go back to Adobe Express, my tab up here, and I'm going to press right click paste. So there we go, I've just copy and pasted my image. Now I only want the boat itself. I'm going to create the layers of the ocean, so I'm actually going to remove the background of this image. So if I click the Titanic here and I press this button here that says remove background, there we go, that's looking good. I might just place it down here on my canvas here. So now we want to create a kind of a moody scene of the Titanic incident. So I'm going to start with, I'm just going to go to elements here and I'm going to see what I can find. I might search for ocean and see if I can get some kind of design asset maybe. So if I go to view all, have a little look down, I might find something quite suitable. This looks quite good. If I click this, here we go, it's giving me this sort of element, these waves, so this can help create a front layer in front of our ship here. So I might just increase the size of it using these circles in the corner, and maybe I'll just have it popping out the top there. That looks pretty good. Now I'm just going to darken it because, like I said, we're going to create a kind of a nighttime scene here. So these waves here, if I go to effects up here on the left in this panel, and I'm going to press here darken. I'm just going to simply darken it like that. Now what I'm going to go for is I'm going to go for a background. So on elements, backgrounds, I might actually go for ocean night because we know that the Titanic sank at night. This looks pretty good. You can have a bit more of an explore, but I think that looks very, very moody and probably would have been what it would have been like on that fateful night. Now we know what caused the sinking of the Titanic, and that was that it crashed into a huge iceberg. So I could look into elements for an iceberg, but I might go for a photo, yeah, just to make it a bit more realistic. So for this on the left, I'm going to go to media, and I'm going to go to photos, and I'm going to search for iceberg and see what we get. There's lots of results here. This one looks quite good, and it looks quite distinct from the background, which will be really handy if I want to remove the background. So I'm going to select the image here, make sure I'm on edit, and I'm going to press the remove background button. There we go. Now I actually want this iceberg behind our Titanic here. So I'm going to go to my layers up here, and this is where I can see all my layers. So the one at the top means that's the front layer, and obviously we have our background at the bottom, which is our back layer. So I'm just going to drag this iceberg just to behind the Titanic. There we go, that's looking really good. Now I obviously want to darken this one as well as it's nighttime, so I'm going to go over to effects and I'm going to choose that darken. There we go. Now for our Titanic, we know that it hit the iceberg and it actually tipped up at sort of 45-degree angle. So I'm just going to rotate the Titanic here just so we can recreate this moment where it's been sinking into the ocean. So here we go, that's looking pretty good. Now I want to add a few little details just to really bring this image together. So I'm going to go to Elements and I'm going to search for fog and see what comes up. Now we can see in Design Assets we've got lots of different options here, so we can press View All or press Design Assets, doesn't really matter. I'm just going to start adding some little bits of fog. Now this looks really good. This adds a really nice layer, make it a bit bigger. Might add a few more bits of fog. This looks quite nice here. Oh, maybe even I could use this bit of fog behind the text. So if you remember our layers over here, we're just going to drag the fog to below or behind our text there. I think that looks pretty good. But you can play around with just these different layers and it just adds some realism and depth to your image there. Now, I think this is looking really good. The final thing I might do is select the text and obviously, play with the color. I might go for a white. I think white's going to make it stand out a lot better. That's looking pretty good. And obviously I want to change the font. I don't want to use the default font. I want to choose a more interesting one. This is a really good one, Gaudi Book Letter 1911. Obviously the Titanic sank in 1912, so this is a very accurate font for that period of time. So that looks really good. I'm just going to move the text so I can see it a bit better. Now finally, I'm just going to play around with the Titanic itself. So I'm just going to select it in my layers here. I'm going to go to effects and see if maybe there's a duotone preset that might just make it stand out a bit, look a bit more interesting. So might play around with some different colors. That looks quite good. Oh, that looks really nice. So it's still, got that kind of dark, moody feel, but it just helps it stand out a little bit more. So there we go. There is our image of the Titanic sinking that's been inspired by 4 lines of this poem. So now it's up to you to choose your 4 lines of the poem and for you to create your own Titanic graphic.